You got me running, got me running. Shake it, shake it, shake it, feel that. Raise your hands up. Raise them up.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Forex Trading Asia Daily Currency Call, episode 334. It's the 15th of July, today in Singapore, 11 a.m. GMT plus 8. All right, so this currency call, you will get market economic updates, key support resistance levels, trade ideas, and more. This is going to be very beneficial to both the long-term investors and short-term traders. We'll be going through what will move prices, possible trade ideas, and also highlighting potential targets and risk. So a disclaimer here, any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It is solely the opinion and views of the speaker. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. All right, so first off, with the BOC monetary policy report that concluded yesterday, so what are the top items of interest coming into the end of the week? So tomorrow there will be the BOJ monetary policy statement releasing tomorrow morning. So for this tool, I'm going to get Kim Hong here, currency analyst at LCMS Traders, to share with us the breakdown of the two items. Kim Hong.
All right, thank you, Junwei. Okay, actually, before I dive into the what took place during the Bank of Canada monetary policy meeting yesterday, okay, a couple of things to go through first. First of all, OPEC Plus. Yes, finally we get some news from the OPEC Plus, okay? So it was reported yesterday that there was a compromise between Saudi Arabia and the United Arab Emirates, okay? So we don't really know much about the details yet, okay? But at least we know there's some progress being made. However, okay, shortly after, the UAE's energy minister actually came out and said that the production baseline issue, I would say the agreement, okay, production baseline agreement has yet to be reached, okay. So I guess it's kind of like a talk in progress kind of thing, all right. Now, even if we, okay, we have to remember this, even if we were to get, some progress between the Saudi Arabia and the UAE, keep in mind that this whole agreement, okay, this whole production quota agreement can only be successful, okay, if and only if agreement among all the other OPEC Plus members have been made, right? So this talk yesterday was just between the UAE and Saudi Arabia, okay? Now, if Saudi Arabia decides to increase the production baseline for the UAE, okay, then the next step will be to actually receive agreements, hopefully, okay, from the other OPEC members, because, without the approval from the other members, they are not going to agree with the production quota and things like that. And hence, no agreement will be made for August, okay? So I will keep you guys updated on this. But yeah, just keep in mind that, it's coming back, okay? The OPEC Plus meeting is coming back, all right? Now, second item, Powell testimony, okay? It's actually the first day of his testimony. Now, so the main point that Powell highlighted yesterday, one of the main points is that he said something like US economy hasn't recovered to the point where QE tapering is warranted. So, as much as we hope that the Federal Reserve is looking towards, or actually have an idea of when tapering will take place, QE tapering will take place, Powell says that, we are still far, okay? The US economy is still far from the full recovery, whereby, QE tapering is warranted, all right? Now, the main issue with this, okay, is basically the employment, all right? Why do I say that? Let me show you this. So he actually highlighted that, employment is still far from the pre-pandemic level. So what you're looking at right now, okay, is a tabulated data table for the US number of jobs added or removed from the economy, okay, since the March 2020, okay, that's where the COVID-19 was declared a pandemic. And that's when we first see decline in number of jobs, monthly jobs, all right? So as you can see, with all this subtraction and addition and things like that, up to the most recent data release, which was in July, okay, the July's release was actually for the number of jobs added in June. Now, with all these strong jobs, supposedly strong jobs being added, high number of jobs being added for the previous few months, okay, we are still seeing a decline of approximately 6.349 million jobs. Okay, this is actually the number of jobs that the US economy is still falling behind from the pre-pandemic level. Okay, so previously it was like some 7 million. Okay, but thanks to the June's report, 850,000 jobs were added. So it actually brings down to around 6.3 million. So as you can see, we are still quite a distance away from pre-pandemic level. So which explains why, okay, the Federal Reserve Chairman, okay, Jerome Powell, highlighted that we are still quite far from full recovery. Okay, now remember that in order for the Federal Reserve, US Federal Reserve, to actually make any amendments on monetary policy, two key indicators are required, two key economic indicators. Okay, first of all is of course the employment data. All right, second is the inflation data. Now, what did he mention anything? Did he mention anything about inflation, with the recent rise of inflation that we see yesterday? Yes. So so he actually mentioned that, recent inflation has been higher than expected and hoped for. Okay. Now, he also added that, if this whole high inflation were to persist, then the central bank, okay, will absolutely change their policy as appropriate. Okay. Now, personally, I feel that this is actually a change in tone on their whole inflation is transitory kind of mindset. Okay. So personally, I'm actually expecting more than just this. But okay, if we are getting this, it's good. All right. At least there's a change in tone, and we can actually look forward to the next policy meeting, or maybe the upcoming talks by the individual Federal Reserve Committee members. Okay, so it's actually important to pay attention to what they have to say about the whole inflation and employment, because remember that every committee members of the Fed plays a role in the whole voting system, right? They vote for interest rate to hike, they vote for QE to be cut or to be increased and things like that. Okay, so we can actually expect more things to come up during the upcoming meeting on 29th of July, okay? Especially when Jerome Powell also highlighted that QE discussion will continue, okay, during the 29th July meeting, okay? Now, so yesterday was the day one of the testimony. Now, later on today, we will actually be hearing from him again, which is actually the day two of testimony. Now, yesterday he was testifying before the House, okay? So today he will be testifying before the Senate Banking Committee. Whatever he'll be saying yesterday will pretty much be, reiterated today in front of the before the Senate Banking Committee. But the questions that the committee will be asking may be different, right? Will be different, I would say. Otherwise, what's the point of asking the same question and getting the same answer, right? So take note of this. The testimony will be held at 21:30, 100 hours, okay, GMT +8. So I wouldn't say there won't. I shouldn't say that there's not much volatility as expected as yesterday, all right? But still take note of it, and in case the committee members were to ask any, hot questions to Powell, and then he may answer it and maybe drop more hints on the whole tapering issue. Okay, yeah, just keep aware of that, and I'll update you guys again tomorrow. Okay, now on to the monetary policy decision by the Bank of Canada. So yesterday, they held interest rate unchanged at 0.25%. And okay, as widely expected, they actually tapered their quantitative easing, okay, from the previous 3 billion Canadian dollars per week to 2 billion Canadian dollars per week. All right. And in the interest rate statement, actually, I just show you guys the rate statement. So, okay, what you're looking right now is the rate statement. So, interest rate held unchanged. Okay. adjusted to a target pace of 2 billion per week. Okay, so this is actually due to the the bank's increased confidence in the strength of the Canadian economic outlook, which I highlighted yesterday. Okay, with the speedy vaccination program going on in Canada and the recent strong economic data releases from Canada. Okay, this will highly likely prompt the Bank of Canada to do a cut in quantitative easing. Okay, now so with this, should we be looking forward to more QE? Yes, but only on the condition that let me search for these. Okay. Now, so over here, towards the end of the statement, they actually highlighted that decisions regarding further adjustments to the pace of net bond purchases, which is the QE, will be guided by Governing Council's ongoing assessment of the strength and durability of the recovery. Now, what the Bank of Canada wants from now onwards is to be able to sustain the recovery, right? To have consistent recovery from now until the end of pandemic, hopefully as soon as possible, right? But however, that for the past 1.5 years, we have seen COVID-19 come and go and come and go. So it's actually like a roller coaster ride from time to time. Hopefully, there's no new variant coming out. Okay, hopefully Delta variant is the last variant that we'll be hearing from. But yeah, so the Bank of Canada actually says that if we were to actually decide on further tapering of the QE, then we will really need to see consistent recovery from the Canadian economy. So that means it will be highly dependent on how the COVID situation turns out. Okay, so also yesterday they released the monetary policies report, okay, the MPR, yes, which actually includes the economic projections. Okay, so they actually, let me go back up to this. Right, so where is okay, global. Okay, so the central bank now expects GDP, okay, in Canada, right? The bank actually expects GDP growth of around 6% in 2021, okay? A little slower than was expected in April. So in April, they released, their quarterly projections as well. So in April, they actually projected 2021 economic growth to be 6.5%. Okay, right now they actually revised downwards to 6%. You guys may be wondering why is that the case? Is because basically, the third wave of the virus in the second quarter. Okay, if you remember that, that third wave of the virus actually led to the lockdown of Ontario and certain other provinces like the Nova Scotia. Okay, so that actually was highlighted by the central bank back then that it will have an impact on the second quarter. But of course, having a robust economic recovery, okay, and the progress on vaccination actually led to a strong pickup. So, but still, the bank expects the economic growth this year to be slightly lower. Okay, but nonetheless, they actually revised their economic outlook. Their economic growth for 2022 upwards. Okay, from the previously projected 3.75% to 4.5%. That's actually quite a I would say a strong upwards revision. All right, so that means they are actually expecting economic growth to be very strong in 2022. Now, in 2023, it will remain the same. Okay, inflation wise, okay, they are actually expecting inflation to rise from the previous projection of 2.2% to 3.5%, which is also an upwards revision due to the recent strong recovery in Canada. Okay, now during the press conference, McCallum pretty much just said that in terms of full recovery, right, despite this strong recovery we have been seeing for the past 2 months, okay, Canada is not quite there yet in terms of full recovery. So that means they will have to, they will have a lot to do, okay, in terms of reaching the pre-pandemic in terms of the economic performance. Okay, and he also highlighted that inflation is transitory. Just like what the Jerome Powell has been highlighting, for the past few monetary policy meetings, that inflation is transitory, is temporary due to temporary reasons, like increase in oil prices and things like that. All right. Now, okay, with that, we can look forward to the next meeting, which will be held on 8th of September. Traders out there, if you guys were actually trading yesterday, okay, you might be wondering, okay, with the whole QE tapering from the Bank of Canada, okay, and the whole upwards revision of medium-term economic projections, okay, why is it that the strengthening Canadian dollar wasn't sustainable? Wasn't sustained yesterday, right? So if you look at the chart, I don't have it right now, but if you guys were trading, you realize that there was a short-term strengthening of the Canadian dollar, and then after which it just weakens. Especially dollar CAD. You see dollar CAD falling by some 30 over 40 pips. For the first few minutes, eventually just coming back up. Okay. Now, remember the first 2 points that I've highlighted at the beginning of this call. Okay. First of all, basically, it's the OPEC uncertainty. Okay. So that will definitely have an impact on Canadian dollar. All right. Second point is the testimony. The testimony was held at midnight. But, okay, remember that the transcript of Jerome Powell's testimony was actually released at, I think it was released at 2000 hours. Yeah, 2000 hours GMT plus 8. Okay. So both of these factors actually plays a role in how dollar CAD moves. So, which is why you see like prices has been volatile and it doesn't really move according to what the Bank of Canada, the hawkish tone delivered by the Bank of Canada. Okay, so that's my point of view as to why we don't see like strong downwards move from sustained move, okay, from the dollar CAD. All right, now so that is the Bank of Canada. Yep, from one bank to another bank. All right, we will be hearing from the Bank of Japan tomorrow. Now the timing is as usual tentative. We don't know what time they'll be releasing the statement and as well as the press conference. Okay, but we can pretty much expect that the meeting will take place around the timing that the currency call has been held. Okay, based on previous experience. Okay, but nonetheless, okay, the Bank of Japan is expected to hold monetary policy unchanged. No change in interest rates, no change in QE. Okay, why is that the case? First of all, COVID cases has been starting to rise, okay, from the last week, the final week of June 2021, okay. COVID cases has been rising. Well, basically it's because of the sluggish vaccination programs in Japan. Vaccination has been slow due to lack of supply and things like that. And you guys may know that there's a recent declaration of state of emergency in Tokyo. Okay, why is that the case? It's because Japan decided to go on with the Olympics. Okay, and they don't want any spectators. That's the thing. All right, they don't want any spectators because it may actually they are risking more cases that way, right? Which is why they declared a state of emergency in Tokyo and no spectators and things like that. So with that, okay, the Bank of Japan, to be honest, personally, I feel that they may be expressing some signs of pessimism, coming out from all this whole COVID issue. All right, they will also be releasing their economic projection data tomorrow. Once again, I feel that they are going to revise down their economic projections. Okay, so my personal view is that the Japanese yen is going to be quite bearish, at least for now. Okay, so yeah, that's actually all I have for Bank of Japan. Nothing much to look forward to. It's just the economic projections and things like that. All right, now let me look at the chat to see if anyone has any question. No questions, or are you guys muted again? Okay, no questions. Okay, if you guys feel that you have any questions or I'm going a bit too fast, you can always rewatch the recorded currency call All right. With that, anything else, I will update you guys again tomorrow. Just remember, keep your trade short term because we are expecting a lot of volatility coming in. Okay. With that, I'll hand it back to Junwei.
Thank you so much, Kim Hong. Thanks for breaking down all the whole report for us every day so that we don't have to do the heavy reading. Okay, yeah, let's head over to the charts now with Scott here doing the dollar index. Scott.
All right, guys, and thanks for joining us again, and thanks to everyone that joined us last night on the live trading call as well with Jin and Daniel. It was good, and like just mentioned there with Kim Hong, the reasoning for why the CAD behaved like it did was, there were a few other factors going on, but there was a small short opportunity there, but it was, I guess, with the dollar, and I've got the 4-hour time frame up right now, it was as though it was somewhat priced in a little bit, and the US dollar actually was pulling back before, and it pulled back quite aggressively. So it didn't really have a lot more room to go, it felt. Although really the CAD, news that came out was, pretty hawkish from the Bank of Canada, but frankly, it just didn't want to behave. So we didn't end up taking a trade though. But with the US dollar right now and everything that's going on that Kim Hong went into detail with, as Jerome Powell testified very early this morning and again tonight at around 9:30 GMT +8, it's almost with having a look at the chart and what Jerome Powell's been saying, he's not, if you watch the press conference or even listen to what Kim Hong said, the market doesn't quite seem to really believe the Fed's stance, and that obviously they've got a patient mentality, but how the US dollar is continuing to sustain this level here, and it's above 92, and I was looking for it to maybe even fall a little bit this morning, but it hasn't, and it's still holding quite firm. So for today, we don't really have a lot of news out besides obviously Jerome Powell testifying. We do have retail sales, and we've mentioned this, and earlier in the week, Daniel and myself have mentioned just to have a little watch out for that. Really, the number to pay attention to for that would be, so 8:30 tomorrow night, GMT +8. We've got a negative 0.4% is expected. Previous month was negative 1.3%. So just have a watch for that. And I'm just going to do that because honestly, I'd like to see the US dollar just come down a little bit more. We just need to see a little bit more clarity from Jerome Powell because he just seems to sort of avoid answering the key questions and just sort of dances around it. So for now, the US dollar remains a bit unclear. So I'll just leave it for now and not take any trades on the US index currently, guys.
Yeah, Scott. So just to confirm, you were talking about the retail sales news tomorrow night. All right. So you will be waiting for the retail sales data to come out before making any moves.
Yeah, that's right. I'll remain.
Got it.
Patient, yeah.
Sure. Thanks for that. Okay. Yeah. So today is Thursday, and the currency focus is yen and gold. And we have Daniel here. Daniel from LCMS Traders, coach from LCMS Traders, to share with us the yen and gold analysis. Daniel.
Okay, thanks, Junwei. Well, Kim Hong and Scott has mentioned almost everything, but in general, so very good in detail. But let's go, and before we talk in details, let's look at the economic calendar right now. Okay, so yesterday we know what happened. Bank of Canada reports coming in. Let's look at anything related to the yen pairs coming in. So looking at today, anything impacted? Nothing. Tertiary industry active index not going to happen. Pound is going to happen later. Okay, of course, US always a major currency pair is going to come in tonight. Philadelphia Fed employment and index and New York Empire State Manufacturing Index have some give you a clues of where the state of the U.S. economy is going to come in. We're going to watch out for that. But what's going to happen is, like Kim Hong has mentioned, Bank of Japan monetary policy statements as agreed. Similar, he has mentioned really very well. I am looking also that the Bank of Japan is going to lower this growth projection rate. They can't handle the COVID-19. They can't open up as well as they like to be. So most likely a lower growth projection rate, and then most likely also their monetary policy statements, their QE is going to remain unchanged. They are going their stance is going to be very different from the other central banks, where you heard of New Zealand Central Bank, RBNZ, you just heard about from the Feds. You heard about just yesterday the Bank of Canada. They're all looking to taper their QEs and or bond purchasing. Looking at that, but Japan not looking to do so. Now, overall, they're going to continue to engage their QE to support their economy coming in. Really, there are going to be a lot of doubts in their economic growth, and also their COVID-19 recovery is really bad. So unfortunately, no positive statements going to come in there. So naturally, we would be expecting, that the yen could become under pressure and it could go down and weaken. That's where the difference comes in, right? So with that information coming from Bank of Japan, what I'll be looking at is, however, overall, you could see that a lot of central banks right now, although they are doing tapering, they also give a cautious statement, right? Even without a strong data saying that, they are all mentioning that inflation, it is transitionary. When they say transitionary, they are saying like it's temporary, right? The increase, the good inflation rate coming in. You could look at the previous CPI data. That US CPI data was really very good. We strengthened the US dollar coming in. So with the news from Chris Powell, Fed Chair Powell mentioned that he thinks this transitory may not last, of course, and Kim Hong also mentioned that based on jobs, he's not handling that very well. However, the markets are looking at that. Yeah, he reacts to what they mentioned, and that's where the US dollar and see what happened last night. And a lot of safe haven currencies are mostly strengthened from the US dollar to the yen as well, because they're looking at the overall, is the world economy really going to recover? And a lot of investors that when they have any doubts, they will rush to the safe haven currencies like the yen and the US dollar. So that's what could happen. That happened last night. So when we look at the charts right now, okay, when we look at the charts right now, we look at the US yen. Okay, let's see. Am I sharing? Okay, I'm sharing my charts right now, I hope. Okay, good. Okay, so now you can look at this is what happened yesterday. Look at US yen. We were looking at positive statements, right, with US, but last night that's when CPI data came up, strengthening the US dollar. However, with last night, John Powell coming in, Fed Chair Powell coming in and mentioning about doubts about inflation coming in, you see yuan strengthen overall. So what I'll be looking at right now is that even though we do expect tomorrow Bank of Japan going to be a bit lower their growth rates, talk about continue of QE. However, with the overall global economy, there could be a substantial, the price of yen could continue to strengthen, sustain at the current levels right now. So right now, I'm looking at US yen, and unless Powell is going to mention something really different tonight, or early in the morning, I'm going to look at the US yen. Yen is going to continue to strengthen following the sentiments of last night. So today, Asia market and maybe the Euro market is you're going to see some continuous strength of yen coming in. I think it's going to push slightly down to the previous low. I would say somewhere here, at 109.6 coming in. Okay, that's where I'll be looking at. And then on Friday, where the Bank of Japan monetary policy statement starts to come up, then there will be some reactions coming in and bounce off, coming off 109.62, and then move upwards with the very negative sentiments from Bank of Japan. So if we were to look at the US yen, if you want to look for a trade, I would think coming back down and looking at a possible buy above. Let's be cautious a bit. 109, then it bounced off above. Let's say here 109.9. Okay, 109.9. You know, it goes down. It must project down, bounce off 109.6, going back up. I'll be probably looking for very tight. At least 20 to 30 pips of stop loss coming down, and going for a take profit target about 60 pips coming in. Okay, take profit target. So this is what I'll be looking for in the movements for this week, how US yen will play out. Okay, Euro yen is really very nice, similar. You can see I was looking for overall, you know, you're going to move across, moving across, but it actually, you know, look at this down here, it actually moves down towards my support zone coming in and seems to be supporting right now. So you can see now here that it is being supported, although seems to be a strong momentum coming in. I think it's going to be really very nice supported. Previously, you can see so many tails telling us that it has been a very strong support at 130.2 zones. I mean, the lowest level we'll be talking at 129.7. So I wouldn't be looking for a sell for Euro yen. Okay, I think it will bounce off, similar coming in, and if it does bounce out of 130, then on Friday, with the Bank of Japan giving us very negative sentiments coming in, I will probably see a possible buy trade coming in. So I will wait for it for tomorrow, bounce off the support. I'll probably be looking for a very tight, maybe like 30 pips, 35 pips of stop loss, going for coming in at 50 pips of take profit. So 30, 50, not exactly 1:1, but you have to watch out for this because I'm playing very cautiously right now, because overall the long-term trend is still pushing downwards, but it's just supported because it will be a counter trend trade supported at the support zone. So this is a counter trend trade. If you do take this, do take note of monitor the chart, and you take the trade. If any reasons for you to get out, you do look for an exit out at the point in time. Okay. Now the other one I'm looking at is pound yen. Now, pound yen overall, the pound has been talking about trying to open up their market, but with yesterday's all the news coming in, Bank of Canada, Powell, all talking about inflation, doubting the inflation numbers coming in, then you will see here that pound yen, it probably be moving down, but I wouldn't want to take any trades for the pound yen. Why? Because it is very close to a support zone here. Can you see that here? Not much movements to be taken. Down. In fact, looking at the downward trend coming in, this is something where a pound yen comparatively to US yen or Euro yen, it may bounce up, may push down. I mean, Monday we talk about it continue to move downwards. However, would it bounce up? It is a little bit of a doubt coming in, because although I see there's a downward trend coming in, a possible bounce off, I would prefer to look at the Euro yen for this trade to be bouncing off a trade. But if there must be a trade coming in, it comes back down, bounce off the support 151.3. I prefer it to for pound yen, it's quite volatile, so let it break through into the support zone, and once it goes in and it show a strong bullish momentum. When I was looking at it, it's like example, this candles here, you can see it push all the way into my zones, reject through a firm rejections candles. You can see a lot of pin bars coming in and pushing out the zone strongly. Only then would you look for a buy trade, right? So if you look for a buy trade, and then I'll probably say to go above 151.85. Stop loss, you're probably going to have to be about 40 pips, and then take profits almost quite close to 120 pips. But however, again, this is a counter trend trade because the overall momentum, it is a down. Because why? Any point in time, if any negative sentiments, world economic sentiments, currencies could be investors could be going into the safe haven currencies again, quickly strengthen the yen or the US dollar happen. Okay, and now where we look at, other than all these trades here, we look at gold. Now, gold, it is what we know it is, right? So it is a safe haven currency. Anything worry about negative news, people will rush to gold, and that's what exactly has happened. So you could see it's been on the upward trend moving out, bounce off the 171.6, 1.80 for quite since end of June. For the whole month of July, it is pushing upwards and then resisted at 181.3.9. And even last night, with such a negative sentiments from the various bank of central banks chair, it pushed up, break through 1813.9 and moving up. So I'll be looking at global economy. Anyone as mentioned are not going to do well. Bank of Japan going to lower their growth rates. They don't see any improvements. I'm going to see it possible continues to move up for gold. Okay, and that's where people will go and park into gold and gold price should expected to rise. And that's what I look for, yen and gold.
Okay, thanks for that, Daniel. Yep, so just a reminder again, a disclaimer, any information shared during this session is not intended to be a trade recommendation. It's solely the opinion and views of the speakers. So please remember to do your own analysis prior to entering any trades. Okay, so Daniel, I understand that yesterday you guys traded the Traders Club. Did a live trading session with the BOC news event. Yeah, maybe you want to share a little bit more about that with our participants today.
Yes, Chinwei. So last night, really exciting. We had Jean coming in, and we have more than 30 to 40 people, members joining in, and it's really because we were all ready to trade. Looking at it, how do we trade a Bank of Canada monetary policy statements? What should we do? We look over the market, and we were preparing. We had a plan, right? Because we do know that. Tapering will be expected to happen because Bank of Canada was one of the bullish central banks that we know of, like New Zealand, followed by Bank of Canada, all looking very bullish in their economy, and they have been talking about tapering. So we were looking at possible Canadian dollar strengthen up. So we were preparing, and once the monetary policy statements, we analyze the news together. That's what Kim Hong has opened up the monetary policy statements. We look at it, and when we saw that the tapering indeed happened, we were expected to look for a strength in the Canadian dollar. But what happened was, yes, it did temporarily goes in, and then it shot back up, weakening the Canadian dollar. This is on the 15-minute chart, shot back up, and we look at, hey, what has happened? So we straight away, we don't rush into the thing, because trading, it is something you have to be patient, know what you're doing, know what is happening before you take a stand. Okay, so we were looking at it, and straight away we saw that there was some news coming in that the Bank of Canada monetary the statements actually mentioned about the inflation, maybe temporary, going up. They want to look for more data coming in, and that's what could have caused it to push all the way up and shoving up the weakening of the Canadian dollar, which move up in the US cap. So we will stop. At that point of time, we did this trade here, this candle here, we have our members asking us, what do we do now? Buy or sell? And everybody must remember that there's also a third option, and that is to wait, find out what is happening, get a firm direction, follow based on the fundamental news, and if it's indeed going to be a weakening of the Canadian dollar based on monetary statements, based on the market sentiments, then you don't look for a sell, find out the reason, and then you could see today the US Canadian dollar continue to weaken, with the safe haven currencies coming in on the US dollar continue to strengthen. And so it is very beneficial, where a lot of members replied that, actually say that they are very happy with the trading together yesterday, especially learn how to trade the news together, and they learned that actually sometimes you just have to step back and don't rush into any trades. If not, you may get kicked by the opposite direction and lose a huge amount. Okay, so that's something else. So do join us and come and trade together with us in the LCMS Traders Club. Okay, so do come and join us. So you must be wondering, how do you join us with this club membership here? All you need to go is to go to tradersclub.lcms.com.sg. Of course, we have coaching sessions on Monday, looking at the market. For the week, we also have Wednesday, which is yesterday night, live trading sessions coming in, how to use the 5-step analysis to prepare yourself to look what guys you're going to trade, and many more as well, like a lot of like we have Forex Signals. You got looking at this one here, Forex Signals coming in, tell you and analyze the trade. not only for you to take the signals, but also learn how to trade the signals and be profitable. So all you need to do here is for this platform, you have a chance to join at only $49 a month. Okay, you click in here, you just fill it up, send it to us, and we will gladly accept you and ask you to join our Forex community. So this is really, without a doubt, the least you could do to achieve your best in Forex trading. So the price can change anytime. So do join us right now, and I look to see you in the club. See you.
Okay, thanks for that, Daniel. Yep, so I pasted the links, the link to Traders Club in the chat. So do check it out, read the website, go to the website and find out more other features that they have, webinars, widgets, live trading sessions, signals, and the signal analysis. All right, so we've come to the end of the session today. We'll see you guys tomorrow, Friday, for the Canadian dollar and cryptocurrencies analysis. Thank you so much and goodbye.